Hello everyone, it's time for Good Week Israel, where we bring you the most positive highlights from this week at ILTV. Get ready to smile because coming up, we'll visit a farm that teaches visitors all about the life cycle of ducks. We'll find out how you can stay safe when using the most popular social media apps, and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's speeches get the Israeli superstar treatment. So stay tuned to hear a delivery like you've never heard before. The Museum for Islamic Art in Jerusalem tells the amazing story of the Islamic world, and ILTV's Natalie Tversky went to check out their exhibition that takes a modern look at one of the world's most ancient symbols, the Khamsa.
If you come to Israel, chances are you'll come across one of the most famous and widespread symbols in the Middle East, the Khamsa. It's become almost as ubiquitous as the Star of David, and today we're going to find out all about it here at the Museum for Islamic Art.
Welcome to the Islamic Art Museum, the biggest and the unique museum in Israel.
Famous arch.
Actually, it is the mihrab. Mihrab, it's the holiest place in the mosques. In each mosque you can find it.
The Museum for Islamic Art is the only one you'll find in Israel and showcases artifacts that represent Islamic art throughout the ages.
Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayy al-wahid ta'khudhuhu sana la yawma lahu ma fi as-sama'i wa ma fi al-ard.
And what does that mean?
God, holiest God, in the heaven and in the earth.
Mihrabs vary in size and color, but are usually shaped like a doorway and decorated with tiles and calligraphy.
They put it there in the mosque for two reasons. One reason to sign the direction of the prayer toward Mecca. The other sign is to put the weapons.
The museum has earned the reputation of being the home of one of the most important collections of Islamic art in the world. With a collection of ancient pages from the Quran, pottery, jewelry, ornaments, and rugs.
They intended to open a museum to try to bridge the gaps between Muslims and Jewish in this area, and they succeeded to own a huge collection of Islamic art.
The museum's current exhibition showcases one of the most widespread motifs and artifacts in popular culture, the Khamsa. This is the world-famous Khamsa. If you're in Israel, everyone knows about it. I mean, I know that my family, whenever they come here, no one leaves without buying at least 5 of them, right? It's used for jewelry, it's used for wall hangings, wall art. How many Khamsot could we see around the exhibition today?
Exactly 555 Khamsot.
Wow.
You can find here.
Mm-hmm.
And
does that number hold any type of significance?
It's to protect against the evil eye. For example, we took from the Muslim quarter in Jerusalem, and you can see the name Allah and the 99 names of Allah, which means actually to protect the believer. And other Khamsas against the evil eye, you know, they believe. And the evil eye, what it is, it's the envy. If people envy or jealous at you, so you have a Khamsa with this eye and protect you, no one will harm you.
This symbol really became a Middle Eastern symbol. It's not specific to any religion.
Yes, and also it's very popular in Israel.
Around the room you'll find many works by artists and designers from various fields, presenting their own rendition of the Khamsa.
Well, this is my work displayed here at the Khamsa exhibition. It is actually my hand print that was made with holes on silver leaves. Because the idea was that I don't want to be defensive, I want to protect, to hold.
So what's really interesting about this is the Khamsa is based on the same shape, you know, a palm and 5 fingers, but each one is so unique and looks so different here around the exhibition. This one is more realistic. It looks like, you know, the outline of the hand. Some artists took the Khamsa and used it as a way to bring people closer together.
Today, we've got a very angry, dislocated world that wants to compartmentalize everybody and classify them. And this is actually the opposite of that. This is saying each of us has our own unique individual hand, but we're all part of a collective.
So here you can see high five and you can send 113 khamsas back home.
Okay, so I like this one. Click on that. Send
Be
it
like
over.
Merit.
It's so interesting that you can make so many different designs with one symbol. So I'm gonna send it to someone special.
Put your name or your friends.
Maxie. Let's write down your email, Max. Max, what's your email? You got it, Max?
Yeah.
Let's check your phone.
All right, Hamza, look at that. Thanks, Natalie.
Many people, they consider the Islam/terrorism, but we are really showing maybe the fine or the beautiful face of the Islam all over the history.
Now, you can travel the Western Galilee and drive around the Druze villages, or you can do a workshop that takes participants into the homes and kitchens of the domestic cooks to experience age-old cooking traditions and culture firsthand. ILTV went to try it out. Take a look.
No matter what cultural background you come from, enjoying food is something we all can relate to. Beyond bringing people together, it can be fun to try some new and unique flavors, especially when we travel. Nowadays, when people travel to new places, they often want to experience more than just the typical tourist attractions, but to actually engage in a more authentic experience. Tour operator Galilee allows you to do just that by pairing up groups of tourists with local hostesses. Galilee has brought culinary tourism to the next level. By entering the homes of locals all across the Galilee and preparing dishes using locally grown ingredients, visitors learn all about the tradition and culture of the residents.
This is called baharat.
Baharat.
Yeah, baharat is mixed spices that has cinnamon, cumin, parsley, petroleum, pepper.
This is Sada, one of the many hostesses participating in Galilee. She's the matriarch of a Muslim family living in an Arab village in northern Israel.
I enjoy so much having people in my house. I cook things that comes from the Arabic kitchen, from my grandma and my mom, and it's a traditional stuff.
למדתי הרבה דברים חדשים, למדתי שיש דברים למשל, הראתה לנו להכין איזשהו תבלין, שאני את הדברים האלה בבית הייתי זורקת, ומסתבר שאפשר לעשות מזה תבלין.
This is a flower of the basil. Okay?
וואו,
אני זורקת אותו תמיד.
No, חבל, תביא לי.
וואו.
We take that, like this, and we ground it. And it's just so good.
This is just one of the spices Sada includes in her stuffed grape leaves, which is a dish often served in this region.
This is really easy, but you need to pay just a little bit attention. We use this side, that like this is a shiny one. We put it from the bottom because we wanted to see the shiny leaves.
You're putting a very small quantity of
Very
rice.
small because rice is gonna expand. 2, 3, 4. This tomatoes is gonna go in the bottom. After they finish filling the zucchinis, we're gonna put the zucchinis in the bottom, and then we're gonna put the grape leaves. Watch this. This is hot water, okay? We're gonna add it right here until we cover it. We're gonna fill up this cup and set it on top.
We've been here, she's opened her house, teach us so many new dishes that I never tried, and everything was so delicious, and I'm really want to try to do it at home. I like the most the olash. It's the green leaves that look like spinach because she said it's very, very healthy, and it was very easy to make, and the taste was the best.
This is organic stuff. You can't find it at this season. I always season the olives with Himalayan salt, and then we are adding these here.
To bring people together around food, it's wonderful because food is so intimate thing when you do it together and you eat together around the table.
So it's not just about the ingredients and the recipes, but the traditions, stories, and relationships that form.
בתיאבון לכולכם.
People are searching for interesting experiences and not just coming to eat. It's not a restaurant. So we believe that if we combine also the stories, the culture, the food, the traditional heritage of this environment will help and will make people enthusiastic to come here.
In between central Israel and the southern city of Eilat is a wonderful place to see African antelopes and other rare animals roaming free. ILTV went to check out the Antelope Ranch. Take a look.
Looking out across the desert landscape, you might assume that there's a limited amount of animals that you could see from here. But today we're here at the Antelope Ranch where we'll check out a little piece of Africa here in the Arava. Here at the Arava's Antelope Ranch, you can get up close and personal with many of the animals as they roam around free just like they would in nature. Wow, these are such big animals. I've never been this close to an antelope before in my life. We're just a few meters away.
Yeah, they're actually the little brother of the biggest antelope in the world. They call the eland.
The antelopes that you have here are completely, they're not closed off at all. It's not dangerous to be next to them, this close to them?
They're a few of them already born in the ranch, so they're a bit used to cars and people.
Right. How are they adapting to the climate here in the Arava?
Most of them are coming from the Sahara, which is hot too.
Way hotter than
here,
it's
really hot, but they have here less food. But we give them food and water.
And what are these animals here in the enclosure? Why are they the only ones, behind the fences?
So they were dangerous for the other animals. And these are the barbarian sheep. They're coming from the Atlas Mountains in Morocco. You can see they have really big horns.
Are they fully grown?
A few of them. This one that's close to us is quite small, but the ones that stand in the shade, they are really big. And you can see they have a lot of muscles.
Past a certain point, you can tour the ranch by car, allowing you to get the closest view possible of these majestic creatures. So Max is usually the one driving, but today I'm behind the wheel. How does that feel?
We're all gonna die.
We're not gonna die.
Here we see the oryxes. We have two kinds. One the Sahara oryx and the other one the white oryx. That is really rare, and his origins are here in the Negev and Israel. You can still see a few of them in the wild.
The two oryxes have distinguished features that help tell one from the other. While the native oryx is white with long, straight, sharp horns, the Sahara oryx has horns which are curved backwards, plus a brown coat of fur. Here we can see a zebra and a few of his friends. Some of the animals need a habitat that's a bit less sunny, so they live in a large wooden enclosure here on the ranch known as Noah's Ark.
We have a few different kinds of animals. We have here a big aquarium, we have coyotes and wild cats.
So you guys are not really following the biblical list of what was in Noah's Ark?
No.
All kinds of animals.
But most of the kinds of animals that we have here can't go back into the nature.
This looks like a typical street cat that you would find all over Israel, actually.
They look quite the same, but they are wild cats. The senses are much more sharp.
Wow, he's getting closer to you, Max. The turtle comes from the African Sahara Desert, and it's the second biggest in the world. When you get too close, his face kind of looks creepy. I'm gonna go walk away.
Now, in the north of Israel is none other than a duck farm that provides a fully guided tour of the life cycle of ducks. Have a look.
Today we're gonna go check out a place that teaches visitors all about the life cycle of a duck. So let's go check out Kfar HaBarvazim. The miracle of birth is one of the most fascinating occurrences on this planet. Oh my goodness, look at this egg. Wow, he wants to get out of there. Here at the duck farm, not only do visitors get to witness this miracle, but learn all about their stages of development. So these chicks must be only a couple of days old, right?
No,
So
just
tiny.
1 or 2 days old.
Wow.
They just came out of the egg.
Groups of all ages come to experience it all firsthand and learn something new about these mesmerizingly adorable creatures along the way.
So we show the people the stage of all the developing of the duckling inside the egg and outside when they grow up.
Activities like collecting the freshly laid eggs and bringing them to the incubator allows for a hands-on tour, fully demonstrating what the farm is all about. He looks very comfortable in your hand, so let me try to pick one up. Why are they all bundled up together like this? There must be like 20 ducks on top of each other, seeking warmth.
Yeah, it's warmer that way. And they are, as you say, socializing.
Since these ducklings don't have a mother figure to lead the way, they trust each other to keep warm, experiencing these first moments of life together as a group. I see this duck still has a piece of an eggshell attached to him, and the other ones are trying to rip it off.
Later on it will fall.
He's loud. What you squeaking about?
Senses he's in immediate danger.
He's not in danger, Max. Anyway, we came here to learn about the life cycle of a duck. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's go.
Okay.
What happens here in this room?
This room is a hatchery. Over here we are replacing, let's say, the mother duck who is laying over the eggs. That hatchery, we give all the environment which the egg need in order that the chick will develop inside it.
The hatchery is set to 37 degrees Celsius and rotates the eggs on a cycle so the duckling won't get stuck to one side. I think I hear some chirping coming from here.
Yes, later on we'll discuss it. Okay, now we'll dark the room, we'll close the light.
Okay.
Here's an egg after about 10 days, 8 to 10 days in the hatchery. We can see that the color of the egg had changed, it come red.
He then brought out a more mature egg that was in the hatchery for a couple of weeks longer. So this is supposed to hatch any day now, right?
In 2 days, it just
in 2 days.
start to break the shell.
And if you hold them to your ears and listen really carefully, you can hear the faint sound of the duckling chirping inside. Oh, I could hear him chirping. I could hear this guy chirping. He's ready to hatch soon. Is it better for them to hatch in the wintertime or in the summertime? Or does it matter because of the temperature, the difference?
Over here it doesn't matter. But in nature, usually it happens in springtime.
Let's see if we could see an egg that's ready to hatch. How long will it take until he comes out?
A few minutes.
Wow. I'm so happy we're here to witness this. Wow. Watching the duckling make his way out of the egg was definitely a surreal experience. Wow, we just... Hey, and we have a head.
And we say, Mazal Tov!
Yay! Hello, welcome to the world.
And now we turn to a very special message from Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. But you've never heard the Israeli leader's words quite like this.
אהבה זה ריחוק, ריחוק מבני המשפחה. אהבה זה ריחוק, ריחוק מכל מה ששלך. אהבה זה ריחוק, אתם מכירים את האמרה. אהבה זה ריחוק, ריחוק זאת.
Mashups of sound bites from a country's leader doesn't have to be cruel. It can be done affectionately just to make the public laugh. And as coronavirus weighs heavy on the population, some are trying to find some humour in a difficult situation, using speeches by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
אני רואה משפחות, בני משפחה, יושבים על קורסה אחת, כמעט אחד על השני. זה לא משחק ילדים, זה חיים או מוות. אתם אוהבים את היקרים לכם מכל? שימו על מרחק מהם.
Lior Ashkenazi and Daniel Solomon are two prominent Israeli artists, and they've made this song, composed entirely of COVID-19 addresses by the Premier. The song's title makes fun of the required 2 meters of personal space between people during the pandemic, called Distancing is Love, referring to Netanyahu's March 17 speech when the world was only just recognising the extent of the global threat. Ashkenazi is calling the new song a coronavirus graduation party as restrictions now ease. While Israeli humour is laced with cynicism, Ashkenazi assures the public that this song is meant in jest.
אני אעזור לכם, אני אדאג לכם. יש לנו כלכלה חזקה, יש לנו משאבים גדולים, ואנחנו נעזור לכם.
אהבה זה ריחוק.
אני אעזור לכם.
I know that I use many of these applications and arguably spend way too much time on them for work and personal use. But apparently, every time we log onto these social media tools, we could be opening ourselves up to certain exploitations we're not even aware of. Aaron Porras explains.
Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. These are just 3 of the dozens of social media platforms we use every day without thinking twice. But how much do these programs use or even abuse our trust? And is there anything we can do about it? Well, Israeli company CRT, or Cyber Right Tech, says yes. But first, let's go back to those terms and conditions that you had to sign before logging into these platforms for the first time. Because you may have signed away more than you bargained for. And now your privacy or even your human rights may have been violated without you or even the social media companies knowing it. This issue, especially getting the spotlight in the wake of Israel's NSO group's involvement in the tracking of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi, or Israel's surveillance of citizens in quarantine with coronavirus. So what's the solution? Well, for some, like Facebook, the answer lies in a $130 million oversight committee. For everyone else, now there's CRT. Developed by former officials from the Israeli State Comptroller, CRT has developed a conduct code that analyzes programs and even user agreements or contracts for risks of rights infringements. And the code is based on non-binding guidelines from the EU, the OECD, and the United Nations. Eventually, CRT hopes to establish a global standard based on these guidelines, and which is enforced with human rights quality seals awarded by their company.
And that's all for today's Good Week Israel. Hope we've helped you start your week off with a smile. I'm Tracy Alexander, and see you next week.